Hello, good morning. I hope that you're all well and that you've had a good week. I've had a really lovely week. The Contented Stitcher was staying with me for a week and it was so nice to spend time together. On Thursday morning, Sue from Minnie McBean's came around and we spent a few hours sat around the kitchen table with mugs of coffee, and we also stretched and laced a sampler, and we talked about needlework. When you're with your needlework friends, you never run out of things to talk about. It was such a special week. The house feels very empty now, but Sue and I, in a fortnight, we're going up to London. We've got a few things we need to do there, and we're going to meet up with the Contented Stitcher and have another day together. Rebecca Scott from Whitney Antiques is joining us, so we're going to have a really fabulous day, and I know the main topic of conversation is going to be samplers. That weekend, we've also got the Cross Stitch Guild retreat at Swindon. So we're doubling back from London to Swindon, where we're looking forward to seeing many of our UK stitchy friends. I went to the Cross Stitch Guild retreat last year in Swindon and had a fabulous time, and I'm very much looking forward to it again. I'm going to be doing a presentation, and I do love talking about needlework, just in case you haven't noticed. Okay, so I haven't really got a lot of stitching in, and unfortunately the stitching I did, the frog came to visit, so I've got a little bit of frogging to do before I continue with my project. It happens to us all. This week I had my first card come back from Letters from Europe, and it was so lovely to receive a card from one of the ladies who received a box. In case you didn't see my previous video when I revealed the contents of the box and the concept behind it, I enclosed some cards, and if you're on a long holiday you need to write home, and my one request from everybody who received a box was that they sent a card to me. Not straight away necessarily, but if I receive 600 cards back by the end of the summer, it would be absolutely wonderful. So this particular needleworker wrote to me, and it was just such a treat to open the card and to read a little bit about her. She enclosed a really beautiful bookmark. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. And this bookmark, it comes from Floral Treasures, and they're handcrafted with real pressed flowers. Those are all real flowers pressed. It's just so exquisite. And they say all of our flowers are grown and pressed on small family farms and meticulously handcrafted by our artisans into unique works of art. The Victorian language of flowers ascribes meaningful sentiments to each flower. The blossoms used on this keepsake reflect the following thoughts. Ryegrass symbolises utility, larkspur laughter, and basket of gold represents calm. And this is really something that we see in samplers. Quite often those young girls chose particular flowers because of the meaning behind them. So that was a really beautiful gift from a needleworker to a needleworker. So thank you so much for sending that to me. That will go into one of my favourite books. My favourite books I read time after time after time, and especially when they're reference books, you consult them time after time. So thank you very much. There's a few things that came in the post this week. One of them was this little sampler, which is exquisite. It's backed with cloth and edged with a lace, and it's really interesting because of these sections, and it's something that really caught my eye, and I hope to reproduce this in time. It's red, which is just absolutely perfect, and there's a lot there to excite my needle. Very, very pretty. It's such a shame that the person who stitched this did not record their name on it. It'd be nice to know who did it and to remember her. Now, the other thing that's come this week is this little sampler, and it was stitched by Kay Ann Arnold when she was 9 in 1920. And the reason I got this sampler was I thought it was just terribly, terribly sweet, and there's something very calm about the sampler. But what really caught my eye was this flying machine. It's got a little propeller, and so it's not a hot air balloon as such, though this is a balloon. And I was wondering, does anybody know what this machine is called? I'd be very interested if you do know. Okay, now the other thing that came this week is this sampler, and it's adorable. It's got this beautiful dog, 2 beautiful birds, a very interesting border. That border is really lovely, and again, that's something that will excite my needle to stitch. But the most adorable thing about this sampler is the verse, and it's, "I will not hurt my little dog, nor ever give him pain, but treat him kindly every day, and he'll love me again." So we've been talking about this sampler this week, and we were wondering, did she do this because she'd hurt a little dog and she was recording this so that she learned not to hurt a little dog? Or was it just, that she hadn't hurt a dog? This is the big topic of conversation in this household this week. There's no name, but there is a date, 1884, and there is MAC. So whether the needleworker, those are her initials, or whether Mac is the name of the dog, I don't know. I wanted to show you the back of the sampler. We don't always get to see the back of samplers, so it's very interesting and educational, really, when we do get that opportunity. So there's the front, so just have a little look at those colours. And here is the back. The sampler really comes to life when you see the back of the sampler. Look at that beautiful turquoise. Those birds are going to be such fun to chart and to stitch. And these colours in the bottom, they are very vivid. The question's going to be is, which colours do we use to reproduce the sampler? And I think that whilst the colours on the front of samplers are very calm and soothing when they've mellowed, I think it's really important that the little girls would recognise their colour palette in the samplers that we reproduce. That's going to be a fun one, and I look forward one day to reproducing that sampler. Now, this didn't come in the post. This was a gift that was hand given to me, and it gave us a lot of laughs. It's an ice bucket. So I have a bottle of champagne in there to enjoy. Don't know when we're going to enjoy it, but no doubt we will. And this is an ice bucket out of a reel, a cotton reel, and then you have the needle with which to stitch. And I just thought that was hysterical. I want to put this into my sewing studio, and obviously I'm not going to keep champagne in my sewing studio, but I actually thought it might be fun maybe to put some bars from my Millennium frame in there to store, or maybe some rolls of fabric wrapped up in a protective covering. I've never seen this before, and it says on there, Reims Pommeret Champagne. I love it. I just thought that was absolutely fabulous, and such a great gift for a needleworker. I just wanted to share that with you. This week I've received notification that I have a parcel coming from Hobby House Needleworks. It's in the post. It's hopefully in the UK now, just going through customs. And what I've ordered are the new pink Kahana scissors. Now, when I saw that it was pink again, because I think this is the third year that we've had pink from Kahana, I must admit I was a little bit disappointed. I would have loved some other colours to add to my collection, but another needleworker who lives in Japan contacted me to let me know why Kahana produce pink scissors. And in Japan they celebrate cherry blossom, and of course cherry blossom blooms in the spring, and it's a very important part of Japanese culture. So this is why Kahana release pink scissors in the spring. And apparently each pink is slightly different, and you know, these two pinks, they are different pinks, very minor shade differences, but there is a difference. And apparently the new pink is slightly different again. Apparently it's a tanny pink, so I had to order a pair, and I'm anxiously waiting for them to come. And to be quite honest, I don't mind having countless pairs of Kahanas, because I work in different locations. It's nice to have different scissors in different locations so that they're always to hand. This is a new scissor fob that I got this week from Minnie McBean's. It's so pretty. It's got the rose and the little pink crystal heart, and that's an exquisite colour. Then it's got this beautiful little motif from Charlotte Entwistle. And do you know what? I just thought I ought to show you that sampler. I'm going to go and get it. One moment. Here's Charlotte's sweet little sampler. And the little motif on the scissor fob comes from this motif here. Such a delightful sampler. I've really, really enjoyed stitching this sampler. This border is so delicate and sweet. And of course the beautiful rose and the red house. There's so much there to catch the eye. Very, very pretty sampler. I smile every time I look at this sampler. And Sue of Minnie McBean's loved it so much that she took this sampler for inspiration for her business card. This little sampler is available on my website as a printed booklet and as a PDF download, and it's such a fun one to stitch. Last week I showed this gorgeous beaded scissor fob that a friend sent me, and I didn't know the designer, and I said I would let you know, and it's Fern Ridge Designs. So pretty. Now, my friend had never made one of these before, but the instructions were excellent, and I think she's done very, very well making that. It's gorgeous. I got another scissor fob this week, and it's ideal for my grey Kahanas or taupe coloured Kahanas, and here is the fob. It's been taken from Anne Campion, which was a class that I gave at the Attics Sampler Symposium in January, and it comes from Anne Campion. And Anne stitched her sampler in Whitby, which is a coastal town in Yorkshire. So Sue chose some sea-themed charms to go on the fob, and she chose a black heart because Whitby is famous for its jet. And Whitby is also famous for its mourning jewellery. So she chose this beautiful bezel tray that has this plaited edge to represent plaited hair. Victorians love to put plaited hair into their mourning jewellery. That's so beautiful. And it's a perfect one for these darker Kahana scissors. I love that so much. Now, I know that Sue hasn't got her Etsy shop open. She just can't keep up with demand to restock her Etsy store. But I'm sure if you emailed her, she would be able to help you with this scissor fob and with this exquisite little scissor fob taken from Charlotte Entwistle. Perfect for pink Kahanas. Now, talking of scissor fobs, last week I showed you the two scissor fobs that come with the kit for the beautiful Sarah Rinder. And I said I couldn't decide which ones to use, and I've still not been able to decide which to use. They're both so beautiful. They come from the Rinder sampler, and it's this bouquet and then this gorgeous bird bath as well. Now, I did say last week that the deadline for getting a complimentary scissor fob with a kit was the 15th of March, but these have proven to be so popular that Kathy of Needle in a Haystack has extended the deadline, I believe, to the 1st of April. But go on to Needle in a Haystack's website and find out the full details. These two scissor fobs, they really are so pretty. There they are. You've got the one that represents all the flowers in the bouquet, and the other one that represents the birds and the bird bath. Very pretty. There's been a wonderful response to Kathy's limited edition of Sarah Rinder. It's to celebrate Needle in a Haystack's 25th anniversary of being in business. And there is a stitch along being run on Facebook. So if you're interested, go along and look for the Sarah Rinder Sal and apply to join the group, and you can see everything that's going on. It's not started yet. Kathy is still kitting up orders, and I believe towards the end of this month there's going to be the first video. Kathy is Queen of the Floss. Her technical knowledge about floss and fibre is second to none, and I think that the members of that stitch along are going to be learning an awful lot throughout the year as Kathy shares her knowledge about silks and linens. Okay, is there anything else to talk about? Not at the moment, but next weekend, if everything goes according to plan, I'm going to have something to show you that's very exciting. But again, it's if it all goes to plan. Since COVID, you can't rely on anything, and you know, when you order things and they have to be made in this country, production seems to be a very big problem. It drives me mad because I like to be very efficient with what I do. I've just remembered something I forgot, and I forgot to mention this last weekend. This is going to be of interest to UK needleworkers. It's very difficult in the UK to find a framer that has specialised knowledge about framing needlework. But when Sue and I went to the Yorkshire Stitchers retreat, we met Robert Hawkins and Zarina Hawkins of Hawkins Hobbies. And Robert, he is a framer, and he's undertaken it's like a master course in framing. And what's really important is that when you have a sampler framed by Robert and Zarina of Hawkins Hobbies, Robert stretches and laces a sampler. It's very hard to find a framer who will lace a sampler. Most of the framers in the UK use tape and foam board. So if you are interested in having your samplers stretched and laced by a professional qualified framer, there are the details. If you can freeze the screen and you can jot those down, you've got the telephone number, email address and website address as well. I was so excited to find a framer that did that. Not even my framer will stretch and lace a sampler. I have to do them all myself. Gosh, these boys are anxious. I've promised them a really lovely walk today. Their daddy is not here. We're golfing widows and orphans today. Ray's not playing golf. He's gone to watch a golf competition. Mullion Golf Club, some of his friends have qualified for a final of a competition. So there's a group of supporters from the golf club have gone to follow them round and cheer them on. It'd be wonderful if Mullion Golf Club won. Be something to celebrate, and there will be very good celebrations in the clubhouse if they do. Are we going to go for a walk? We are. Yes, we are. They're such patient little boys. And they do understand what I talk to them about, don't you? You do. Okay, until next week, stay well, stay safe. Bye-bye.